Good afternoon, everybody. Pigskin Pete here. Happy Thursday to everybody. First thing you may be asking yourself is why in the heck is Pigskin Pete wearing a Yankees hat? And I gotta admit, that's a good question. So, is Pete a Yankees fan? No, I'm not. As a matter of fact, I despise the Yankees with every fiber in my body, as I do most New York teams, because I'm a Southern boy. And us Southern boys don't really like the New York teams that much. But today what I want to talk about is Kyler Murray and why I think that he would be a great fit for the Giants. And I also want to sort of give Dave Gettleman a chance to resurrect what I consider to be him giving up on the next couple of seasons and doing a complete rebuild. But anyway, this hat is Pete Jr.'s, believe it or not. Pete Jr. did a school project on Babe Ruth. And so he had to dress up like Babe Ruth. So we had to buy him a New York Yankees hat, and this is it. So that's the reason I have the hat in the first place, if you cared. Not that anybody cares. But here's the deal. So, I want to go ahead and give credit to all the there's tons of New York Giants YouTubers out there. I mean, the ones that I know the most, obviously Bad Dog 7676, Spencer from Rubber Sports, the Entertainer Talking Sports. These are all big time Giants guys. And I'm sure they probably made videos on this already. I'm a little late to the party here, but I think I have a little bit of a different perspective as somebody who's not a Giants fan, but is a Kyler Murray. I don't want to say a Kyler Murray fan because I'm not a fan of his, but a Kyler Murray believer. Let's put it that way. I believe in Kyler Murray. So let's start first of all with the history of Dave Gettleman, because we all know I'm a Carolina Panthers fan, and Dave Gettleman and the Carolina Panthers fans don't have a very good relationship. I don't think David Gettleman's a very good general manager. And then, of course, the first thing Giants fans say to me is, well, he took an average team and got them to the Super Bowl within a couple of years of him being there. Well, he did that with Marty Herney's players. Okay, Dave Gettleman did not get the Carolina Panthers to the Super Bowl with Dave Gettleman's picks. He got them with Marty Herney's picks, which is the reason that Marty Herney is back in Carolina after Dave Gettleman left. So there's a reason for that. Is Marty Herney perfect? No, but after seeing both of them in action, I am much happier having Marty Herney back at the helm than I was with Dave Gettleman. Now, am I saying that Dave Gettleman is a bad GM, or he wouldn't fit better in New York than he would in Carolina? Maybe so. Listen, but what I see Gettleman doing, and I believe I left a comment yesterday on I want to say it was either the Entertainer's channel or Bad Dogs. I think it was Bad Dogs. And I said, look, man, face it. After this whole Odell trade went down, I said, look, man, face it. They're tanking or rebuilding or whatever. He has no plan in winning in the next couple of seasons. He's letting everybody know this. Getting rid of Landon Collins, then Odell, keeping Eli. All signs point to we're doing a complete rebuild, and we're going to rebuild this team the way I want it. And the way that Gettleman wants to do that is through the run game, which they have with Saquon Barkley, through the defensive line, which they have a pretty good defensive line, but they need a little bit of work, and through the offensive line. And the offensive line is terrible. But anyway, I still believe that the plan in New York for them is to have a couple of year rebuild and then go after either Tua next year or maybe Trevor Lawrence in 2021. I don't know. But after thinking about it, because David Gettleman made a statement. Whose phone's ringing? I don't know who that is. I don't know anybody in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Anyway, he made a statement, and his statement was, you can still build a winning team while you're rebuilding. Now, that seems like a little bit of an oxymoron statement to make, or maybe it's just a moron statement. I don't know, because I've never heard anybody says, we're rebuilding, but we still feel like we can win in the process of rebuilding. No, that's not really how rebuilding works. Rebuilding is just that. It's rebuilding, and nobody's planning on making Super Bowl appearances in the middle of a rebuild. It just doesn't work that way. But So it got the wheels turning in my head because Kyler Murray yesterday had his pro day. And of course, just like I thought he would, he looked amazing. And anybody who watched his pro day, listen, forget the pro day. All the pro day did was validate what people like me have been saying since the end of the season, since the end of the college football season. And that is that he's an amazing arm talent. This guy has an effortless pass. He can make every throw in the book. He can throw on the run. He's very Patrick Mahomes-like. Now, I'm not, before anybody comes out here, oh, this guy's an idiot, he's comparing him to Patrick Mahomes. No, I'm not, okay? Patrick Mahomes is probably like the most freaky arm talent that we've seen in this generation, him and Aaron Rodgers. But what I'm saying is just like Patrick Mahomes, he can make all the throws and he can do crazy things inside the pocket and outside the pocket. And for all the people out there just think he's just a short, fast runner, they haven't been paying attention. And you saw that yesterday at the pro day. No shock to me, right? But if you look at what the Giants have, it ain't much on offense. They got Saquon Barkley. Yeah, there you go. They got Saquon Barkley. But they got a bunch of picks, so they did get some value out of trading Odell. Do I think that it was a great idea if you're planning on winning now to get rid of the best player on your team? No, I don't believe that. But if David Gettleman is an evil genius and he has a plan in place, this is how they could do it this year. If he could do everything I'm going to tell you now, then he would be a genius, considering what they have and what they need. So that would be, so they have, what do they have? The 6th pick, the 17th pick, and I think the 37th pick, which obviously is a second round pick. So all the reports, and this is the funny thing about this time of year leading up to the draft, is there's a lot of misinformation going on out there. Teams will pretend like they're doing things and just to make other teams, to create value for that player. But they don't want to show. It's like a big poker game right now, especially for the teams in the top 10 picks, especially for the teams that maybe want one of these guys really badly. So all the reports are Kyler Murray's going to go, Cliff Kingsbury, first year at Arizona. He's a college-style guy. I mean, he's been a Texas Tech guy. He's very familiar with Kyler Murray, played against Kyler Murray, coached in the state that Kyler Murray's from. I mean, everything just points towards the Arizona Cardinals trading or Rosen or whatever and going and getting Kyler Murray with their first pick. Now, listen, that might happen. I'm not betting on it. I'm not saying it's going to happen for sure. Nobody knows. They've been telling, reportedly, Rosen that he's the guy. Hell, they traded up last year to get Rosen, which automatically makes him a high-value player. And let's be honest, I'm not a believer in Josh Rosen, but they saw enough in him last year to trade up to get him, number one. And the team that they put him, the players that they put around him, was pitiful. So the Cardinals' lack of success last year is not all Josh Rosen's fault. He did not play very well, but he was a rookie, and he didn't really have a very good supporting cast. And he also had a first-year head coach, which they can't. Why do people keep calling me in this? Don't they know I'm recording a video right now? Shame on them. Anyway, where was I? Okay, so let's assume that the Cardinals are leading everybody to believe that they're going to get rid of Rosen, maybe to the Giants or whoever else, and draft Murray. Now let's say that they really don't have any intention on getting Murray and they're going to keep Rosen. Wouldn't it make sense for them to maybe trade that 6th pick, right, and maybe a 2nd or 3rd round pick with the Giants if the Giants really want to trade up to 1 to get Murray? That would still be a valuable idea for the Giants to do that. It would make sense why they were trying to stack up picks by trading Odell and also getting rid of Odell's big-time contract and getting the distraction of Odell out of New York. That's just the Antonio Brown thing and the Odell Beckham Jr. thing. I believe they're both great players. They both came with a big cap hit. But at a certain point, the marriage goes south, and there's no fixing it in pro sports. When you have these big personalities, I don't care how good Odell is. He clearly wasn't happy in New York, and they clearly weren't happy having him there. So I get it. But so let's say they pick up Kyler Murray, trade up to the first number 1 spot, and snatch Kyler Murray. So now you have Kyler Murray. Now you have Saquon Barkley. Now you still have Eli Manning, but you're stuck with the Eli Manning for another year no matter what, because nobody's going to take him. What is he making, $20 million a year or something? Nobody's going to take that off your hands. Nobody needs a quarterback that bad that they're going to take a 38-year-old Eli Manning $20 million contract off your hands. So you're stuck with him whether you draft a quarterback or not. Now the bottom line is, if you stick with Eli Manning this year, he's your starter, he's your number 1 guy, you don't draft a quarterback at all, and you're not making the playoffs, especially without Odell. If you go out and get a young guy, like whether it's Haskins or Murray, at least you have a shot, right? And that's where you say, well, how do you replace Odell? Well, you still have the 17th pick. It's very, very possible that DK Metcalf could still be on the board, or there's actually a couple of other really good receivers too. It doesn't have to be Metcalf. Metcalf is sort of like the shiny new toy that everyone wants to play with because of his amazing numbers at the combine. But listen, it's not just Metcalf. Even if Metcalf's gone, there's a bunch of other really, really good receivers that could not necessarily fill that role that Odell left, but will put you on the right track. So now what you do is you go from having Odell Beckham Jr. and his big contract and his drama, and having an aging Eli Manning, and all of a sudden now you've got a dynamic young quarterback in Kyler Murray. You've got Saquon Barkley still, and you've got an elite talent, at least a potentially elite talent receiver, all within the first 17 picks of the draft. Boom. Or forget the receiver. Maybe you go get a receiver in free agency or something, and don't waste your high value pick on that. But you go pick up an edge rusher either with that 17th pick or in the first round. Now you filled 3 needs automatically just through trades and draft capital. Boom. Now, the likelihood of all that happening, I think, is pretty slim. If Dave Gettleman somehow can make what I just said, or something even similar to what I just said, happen, then I would take off my New York Yankees hat or Giants hat or whatever and tip it to him. But anything short of what I just said, I don't see them winning anything in the next 2 years. Period. No playoffs. Forget the playoffs. Playoffs. Yeah. Anyway. So for all the people out there who are saying, well, these guys wanting to do all this trading up and get Kyler Murray, this and that, what about Dwayne Haskins? Listen, I'm not saying, fine, Dwayne Haskins, if that's who you want to take at 6, good for you. All I'm saying is, if I'm the Giants, I want Kyler Murray over Haskins. If I'm any of these teams that need a quarterback, any of them, if you're looking at drafting a quarterback in the first round with your first pick, this is the guy that everybody wants. This guy right there. Kyler Murray. And I'm not saying Dwayne Haskins is chopped liver or anything, but I want Murray. So, anyway, let me know what you think about this. I know it's a lot to have to happen to make this happen. But if I'm a Giants fan, I either want Murray, and I want to do whatever we have to do to trade to get Murray, or just go ahead and accept the fact that we're in a rebuild and it's going to be a couple years before we sniff the playoffs. Have a great day. Pigskin Pete checking out.